Hello, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and welcome to a special show which we are intentionally not doing live, that is about let's build an MMO and making up a name for the game, something that makes sense, something that sounds cool, something that rolls off the tongue well. And today I have, for the first time on camera, I'm going to start all the way over at the right-hand side. I have Jacques Rousseau. And Jacques, hello.
Hi.
And then we, in the center, we have Evil Overlord. Oh, and I spelt your name wrong on there. How about that? Oh well, you're Overlord.
Oh, no. Let's start this over.
Yeah, I'll rename you. I'll get to that in just a second. And then we have Brian. Hello, Brian.
Hello.
So Evil and Brian have been on some of the other shows where we have been coming up with this whole game design, this new thing of let's take this game and build what the people want to play. And with Jacques' company, NeoJack, which will be developing the game. And now we are faced with the decision of we need a name for the game. And it's really required, even though we don't know all the mechanics of the game yet, all the specifics of the game, it's required for our funding, for our campaigns and such to have that up and running right now. And so I have some tools which you guys can see on the screen, those of you who are watching on YouTube. I have tools that are going to help us figure this out. By the end of the show, we should have a name. That's the goal, and it's got to meet some requirements. We got to be able to have the .com available. A third grader needs to be able to spell it. Yes, that's very important. People need to be able to hear it and then spell it. And then the acronym for the game must be acceptable. It can't be like, well, I was going to just make up something funny that ended like in, it can't equal a cuss word or something like that. And shouldn't be another game acronym as well. And then the nice things to have are the shorter the better on the name, and it should roll off the tongue well. Oh, we lost Brian, but he'll be back in just a minute. So, okay, Jacques. What is your initial thoughts on the whole naming of the game?
Well, like you said, it's pretty hard for us to put a exact name down, to be more specific, to what type of it. Like you say, if you made a dragon game, with dragons in, it's easy because you'll incorporate a dragon name into it, right? Mm-hmm. But with us, because it's still such a new project, and we also, it's a community built one. It's not something that we know what is going to be coming from it, right? It can change totally from the beginning and to the end, right? So the name, I think, should be something that's more of a name that's not specific to a type of game, but more like a open plan game. Like a name that you can say. You won't know exactly what it is about when you hear the name, but it's something that will stick in your mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so an example of that would be other things, whether it's a game or something else, where the name is made up, but then the name tends to be defined by the product that comes out. Yeah. And I guess an example might be, I don't know, Ford cars or something like that. Ford doesn't mean car. It does now, exactly. But it didn't. Yeah. Whenever that was first done. So, okay. So now this is kind of a portion where we just brainstorm, throw some stuff out there, and see what we can come up with. And we'll do some searches and everything to make sure the .com is available. And if we have a word that we really like, we may use a thesaurus to try and find another word that equals the same thing.
I got that up on my computer behind me.
Cool. And welcome back, Brian.
It's not so
Thank
much
you.
a thesaurus as a book on the origins of words, which is kind of the theme I've been playing with the past couple days, coming up with something that's a ancient word for something that has modern meaning. And I've been playing around with ideas, trying to find words that fit all the categories. And the reason I did that is because not a lot of people have copyrighted ancient words as the names of things. So it'll heighten our chances of getting the .com and heighten the chances of making it copyrightable.
Or trademarkable.
Or
Yes.
trademarkable.
Yes.
That, and there's been some pretty interesting things I've found. I've only written down a few of them because I've been busy cleansing my space for this video because I don't normally do videos. So, but I think that might be a route we could explore with this. That way it has some meaning to the developers, and it doesn't lock you into, oh, this is Dragon Quest 54 or something like that. So you're not focused on one creature.
Okay.
You're focused on the overall idea of the world.
So it sounds like a good place to start. So, sounds like you've been doing your homework.
Well,
Even though I didn't give you homework.
well, I told you I was. If I'm going to be invited to something that is a business meeting, I will at least try to come prepared.
Yes,
You know.
shroud and all.
Yes, definitely. I have no idea how many ideas I had for where to set this up in my house, but
I think it's awesome. I think your character is going to look just like you in the game.
as long as I get a castle, I don't care.
So what is okay? So what are some of the ideas that you have had?
Okay. One of the general ideas that I was playing with was the idea of when you're sending people out into the world. This is a completely new world. Nobody knows what's out there. Based on your story, which, a little funny side note, when this whole thing came up, I was like, oh my God, I got a short story that can explain this world. And the story they came up with at the company was eerily similar, but I was a little bit more specific. And, basically good versus evil. And then eventually they develop the ultimate weapon and they destroy everything.
Oh, and then is it game over?
It's not. No, it's not game over because there's always some survivors. So now you have little tidbits and crumbs everywhere of what was, and now we're going out in the world to explore. Because this is basically an unlimited world for all intents and purposes for the player's point of view. And you can add more stuff that wasn't there before because, well, there's not very much in the way of records. So one of the things that I was looking at was like ideas for sending people out or journeying out and exploring. The first one that I found, I figure I'd just go with send, and the ancient Germanic for that is Santhjan, which doesn't roll off the tongue very well, but it means to go journey. To be sent out on a journey. Another take on that was like to sequence or to follow, and that was sequentia, which rolls off the tongue better, but then you don't make the third grader being able to spell it unless they know Latin. You get into other things like going out to tame the world, and that in the ancient Germanic is Zam, Z-A-H-M, which is very simple but could become a problem with the anacronyms. And that's to subdue, to tame. The other thing is you can take a look at it. We
I'll
don't
mention
have...
that's available. Zam Online is.
Okay.
Is it? What is it?
ZAHM Online. And Jacques, what he's hit on is something else here that I know that you and I have talked about, which is beast mastering and the control of others or of mobs and everything, and define what ZAM ZAHM, define what that is again.
To subdue. That's the origin. Is the original meaning is apparently to subdue. I want to say it's Germanic. I can look it up again on the little book that I got online here.
I'm looking up the definition. May refer to Charlie Zam, an American singer and player of Celtic, maritime, and traditional American music. Well, at least
I
that
got a
doesn't
lot
have
of
anything
that.
related. Yeah. That it's a little bit hard to spell, but it's really
It's
nice.
It's
Yeah,
simple.
I actually that's a really nice one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that is Zam, and then online is easy to add to it to get it because you can't. The 4-letter one isn't available. There's just the word dot with .com is not available.
Okay.
So, and I think
But
we lost
Zam
Brian
online.
again.
Oh.
Yeah, Zam Online is available. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
there's another way to look at this as well. Assuming that I don't know whether or not you're going to have like good players and bad players, as in like good versus evil, but this is one of the ideas I've been playing with for writing a little forum post. I haven't there isn't a real good category yet on the forums that are currently up.
Yeah.
But one of the other things you could do is the idea was to like shake things up or agitate things. And I found in the ancient German there's skeg or skek, both of which are very simple words, skeg or skek, which doesn't sound as good as zam, but it means to agitate, to stir things up.
And how do you
Which-
spell that?
skeg or skek. They do have parallels in modern German and Dutch, so there may be a little bit less in the way of possibilities there for taking that.
Mm-hmm.
But the entire idea is, I think, theme-wise, we should have something that has a modern meaning, but is some form of ancient language, whether it's Latin or ancient Germanic or ancient French, Gaulish, something that can be that rolls off the tongue and meets all your requirements, but is not likely to be taken. So.
Yeah, I like the Zam one for the exploration. I think it's a very, very good example because I think most of the game, what I'm gathering from what we talked about and on a community, everybody's looking at maybe like exploring and finding new places and so on, right?
Well,
Yeah.
and even at the whole creation of this game is an exploration.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a
all
different
like-
phase of it. Yeah.
So yeah, and also, I mean, we were talking about. I said to Marcus, what we can do maybe is with the game, and we'll see how it goes still, but we wanted to make it so that when the first people that comes into the game or if you go into the game, be like settlers, right? You'll settle the lands and stuff, right? We don't want to have too much of our own involvement there right away. We want it to be built up by the community itself, actually in game itself, also as the game starts off.
Yeah. I think we've lost Brian again. Man,
No.
Brian, no, you're here. Okay, your video is frozen up, but as long as you
What?
can hear,
Give me a
yeah,
second.
you have a very mad look on your face.
Yeah, because I'm pissed.
You're
about
pissed?
the whole yeah, I don't like the internet providers here.
Okay. So, okay. Well, Brian, have you given any pre-thought to what we're the subject here? Did you have anything that you wanted to share as you come into this?
I mean, I don't have a name yet because in my case, it's I'm currently really thinking the name needs to match a game. That's the biggest point, and as you already said, it needs to roll out of the tongue and so on. It's a bit difficult to find the right name. I mean, Zam sounds really nice, but I think that's a bit too short for a game title.
Really?
And really,
Actually,
yeah,
well,
it's too short. It's too short, and it sounds more like a game in the current time zone time, and I think it's not matching that kind of. I mean, it looks like middle age or something like that in this time period, and so Zam sounds a bit in the time from now, in the future, for example. Sounds like so. It's not directly matching the game, I think. But that's my opinion.
And there is one thing that I found with ZAM that is in the game space, and that is that's Alakazam, and that's the ZAM network, and they're a big news organization for games, but they spell it ZAM, and so it's not it's not the same spelling, it's not the same meaning. But there could be just a little room for confusion when it's spoken.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't say that kills it, but just something to think about. The other thing to look at possibly could be that you talk about, Brian, about the name being too short. And actually, I'm a believer that the shorter the better. Everybody knows how to spell online, and this is just a 4-letter word, and so it should be okay. But I wonder if people can't spell it. No, ZAM online is not available, and that's Zambia Online Network. So I just making sure. I want to know where that went, so that if they're spelling it ZAM, does that go to the game news site or not? So for confusion's sake, which that may not be bad, because then they could be like, oh, hey, we have news for the game here. So
our secret advertising method.
Right, yeah.
Usually, if a name is too long, then you get abbreviations from it, like World of Warcraft. They made it WoW, right? So that's the two sides of it. If it's too short, they won't make an abbreviation of it. So it's two things to think of.
Yeah. So let's see what zahm.com is. Oh, I'll bet you here we could buy it. zahm.com. It's just a web park. So.
Question is, how much do they want for it?
Well, the question is, don't let anybody know the name until you've bought it, so that when they search for who's looking for this, it has less value. So, just a thought. So, and ZAM game, yeah, that's available too. Well, I personally like that, but I think that we need to spend some more time, coming up with some other ideas as well.
Yeah.
And so, it certainly sounds like something that could be run with, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so what, I know that we want to define the game and then give it a name, but, and Brian, you said that was very important, that the game name state what the game is, and Jacques talked about that just a little bit about it being, if this were a dragon game, that we would name it Dragon something or something like that, and it may very well have dragons in it, but we don't know that yet, and that's the problem, because that part hasn't really been designed yet.
Yeah.
So.
I'll give you guys a nice example. So, like our engine that we have is called Atavism Online. So, Atavism actually means going back, like it was before. And the idea we had with that is, when we designed the engine, we wanted to make it so that people will be allowed to make games, or you can make a game like it was before done, right? Like the olden days, when it was more. Not like commercialized like it is these days.
So basically, the idea was that you could also sell the engine for other games.
That's what. Yeah, if you, I'm not sure if you know that, but we will be selling the engine on the Unity store at some point for other developers to also manufacture their own MMO games. So
Gotcha.
we're building it in corresponding with that also, right? So making it very user friendly for people on Unity to actually generate their own games as well.
And that's one of the reasons why there's such a why there's the ability to have players adding product to the game world.
Exactly,
because it's
yeah.
open like that. Gotcha. I love that.
That's why we could finish. We worked for a while on the engine itself, right? So we have a platform which will be easy for people just to add in plugins and stuff to make their own type of games. So that's why this MMO game is such an easy way to do that now. We can do that very quickly, from idea to implementation.
So another word for before, just like you said, it's antivism. Am I saying that right?
Atavism.
Atavism. Okay.
Yeah.
And so atavism means before. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So another word for before is vanward. And I don't know. That doesn't sound so good, but it's one of the things that I came up looking in a thesaurus. What is in games like this? What is it that we what is a common factor? This is like a medieval role playing game, and so if that's the underlying tone or the base or the foundation of it, we get to make whatever fantasy world we want in it, but it's set somewhere in medieval fantasy. If we know that to be true for the game, then maybe the game name can be around the meaning of medieval fantasy, something that means that.
Yeah, we got that right, and also I think like with the history, Overlord was saying there, the history shows us that it was destroyed, so it's actually basically a clean slate that we're starting off with in which timeline and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the game, when people play it, they will evolve the game to whatever they want from it, right? So if you look at it, if you were settlers in a new country, basically that's how it is, right? You're settling, and then from there you're changing it, the world like you want it now at the moment.
What if I told you that Medieval Fantasy Online was available? It's kind of long.
Crap. Yeah, but nobody would forget it.
Oh, and the acronym would be MFO.
Check that out. Check out the acronym real quick.
I don't know. That just sounds awesome. Yeah, so...
You get every SCA member on the face of the planet joining.
Yeah, so Medieval Fantasy Online. Now, the only problem is that medieval is a very hard word to spell. And because it
involves evil, it's fun.
IEVAL. It's not medieval. It's
Tomato.
I know. It's a hard one to spell. But if I changed it to where the domain, so that when people spelled it wrong, so MEDEVIL, Medieval Fantasy spelt wrong is also available. And so both could be registered. And so when people misspell it,
it gets shifted back to the right
place. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is handy.
I don't know. That it says what it is.
Is that medieval on just without the online? Medieval fantasy, that's taken, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is. And I don't know what's at that site. I'll look here. It's Medieval Web. It translates into medievalweb.com, and it looks like it's Italian. It's an Italian site, and it looks like it's actual real arms and armor. At least this one thing looks like real. I don't know. It's somebody's 1999 homepage. So.
Well, you might get a lot of hits all of a sudden.
Well, it's not a company or anything. At least it doesn't appear that way. And let me just okay. So medieval fantasy game. Oh shit! I hate it when I hit enter on that. I don't need to hit enter. MedievalFantasyGame.com is available, and MMO is available. RPG. MMORPG is available. All of these are available.
That's surprising.
MMO is available?
Yeah, well, Medieval Fantasy MMO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, evil. That's evil. Yeah, we had a wild buzz from you, but it's gone now. Oh, there it was again. You got a short in one of your cords there.
No, that's my connection.
Oh.
There's a connector that I just messed with momentarily. I was thinking about disconnecting because one of my minions is barking too loudly.
Oh.
I didn't know whether or not you could hear it on here or not.
No, I don't hear it. I don't hear it. But that cat in the background sure is noisy. I'm just kidding. And then there was MFO. Let's see what MFO is if we were going to go down that. That one actually sounds cool, and it wouldn't be offensive just all on its own. MFO is obviously taken. Boy, maybe I shouldn't be going here.
What is it?
It's nothing.
German.
So there is nothing there. I'm looking up the who is on it to see who it's registered by. And its hidden registration, its domains by proxy. So we don't know who owns it. So, and it was created in 1996, so somebody's had it for a very long time. So.
Just sat on it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let me see if I can get a definition for MFO. Whoa, I don't even know how to read that. It's a Turkish band.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're singers. So they're referred to as MFO. So, or Multinational Force Observers, Independent International Peacekeeping Organization, and a research center in Germany. So.
Well, it's nice to know that Germany keeps coming up.
Yeah. Germans are representing there, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that one's kind of interesting. So, okay.
Medieval fantasy is just too easy.
It is really easy. It may not be defined enough, but
it doesn't have pop power though. It doesn't pop out.
Yeah.
It doesn't roll off the tongue, you know?
It's more like a statement than a name, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we can call the game MFO. Mofo.
Not necessarily the best option.
Yes. Well. Okay, so what else can we find here? Let's see here. It is medieval, and medieval online is taken.
My name is also taken that I've remembered from school time.
Mm-hmm.
Civitas.
About a name that doesn't have any meaning really, like just a few names that we think sounds good, and we can take them up. Like I got one yet, Asmar. I don't know.
Asmar, how do you spell that?
Azmar.
Okay.
Asmar.
Okay, the .com is taken, and the domain is for sale or for lease from a company called Metafusion. That one's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Asmar Online, though, is available.
Noting lots of Z's and A's here.
Asmar seems to be an Arabic word.
What's the meaning of it though?
I think it's a first name, an Arabic first name. So let's see if I can bring up a definition. Well, there's Asmar Airline, continuous travel. That's interesting. Continuous travel. Yeah, it's Iraqi. So, yeah. Hard to define, but one of the images that comes up is not very pretty. It looks like somebody has been injured. So, it's a woman.
Yeah,
So
let's keep that one.
Yeah. Okay. What else you got?
I'm just going through a few names, like in a name generator, to see if there's something that looks nice, right? And then we can look into it.
Okay.
Makes it easier.
So, let's see. Okay. So here's mithralandmages.com, which is a medieval name generator. Yes, let's see, count. Let's see, generate.
How do you think about Civitas? Civitas.
Does it have a meaning?
Yes, it is. I don't know the English word for Latin, and it means a group, a community.
Now that is interesting.
It means the group, a community. I think the name itself is really good, or nice at least.
Civitas Online is for sale for $2,600. Just
a little
saying.
steep there.
Maybe not, but
the good point is I can tell you, if we find some domains, I can reserve at least 2 of them because I have still 3 domains on my provider.
Yeah, well, it'll be up to Jacques to
Sure.
at the end of this show register and secure the domains under his company name.
Okay,
So
was only a suggestion.
yeah. Okay, civitas, in the history of Roman Empire, the Latin term civitas, plural civitates, referred to the condition of Roman citizenship. Okay.
So we're all Roman citizens now. A little bit pre-medieval.
Well, it's like an empire.
Yeah.
And really, the game here could take a turn of big guilds trying to build empire and take over control and stuff like that. I think that whatever name we give this, if it has some sort of meaning, what's going to immediately happen is that everyone's going to keep that in mind while dreaming up things for the game, and so that could be good or it could be bad.
Yeah, that's the big thing. It might funnel people to a certain direction.
And so well, maybe what it is that the name is just not released for a while until it has to be, and but we could name it like succubus online or something like that. And then everybody will get visions of orgies with demons and stuff like that. Oh, sorry, I got off topic there.
Don't let Mrs. Dragon hear you.
Oh, she would think it was funny. So,
Lucky man.
yes. She'd be like, "Ooh, that's killer." So, let's see. We have this medieval fantasy generator. There is a lot of stuff here in this medieval name generator, but they're weird. They actually sound very Old English. So let me, while we're thinking here, let me just throw something else out here. World of Warcraft has WoW, Ultima Online has UO, and League of Legends has LOL. Is there something else that we could think of that is, could an acronym that could stand for the game that we could fool around with building the meaning behind the acronym?
And then just release the acronym for the name of the game up front for the Kickstarter instead of releasing the actual name. Because if you have the acronym as a site name already, and then say, oh, well, this is because we're still in the process of building the game, and you don't want people to be focused on something specific yet. Sometimes, because you have to have something for the Kickstarter, and you can't use tabula rasa anymore.
I know, which is blank slate, which is exactly what we're doing here. But yeah, that one's a little bit
because
used.
maybe announcing the an acronym and say this is the acronym for the game will keep people guessing for like 6 months or however long it is for this part of the process.
Yeah, we can do like a competition with it. That'd be a good idea.
Because that way he has the ability to do the Kickstarter, and we also control the information enough where you're not going to get the taint on the players of thinking in one little box.
Yeah.
Blank slate in Latin is also the theory that individuals are born without built-in mental content, and their knowledge comes from their experiences.
That's a good, a nice little thing there. Actually.
And in the game here, we really are our skills, our makeup, our actions will define who we are in the game.
Yeah.
Damn.
Is there any other words for blank slate?
Let me try here. The thesaurus doesn't come up with phrases, and so let's see here.
What is that one that you said that we couldn't take?
That we couldn't take.
Yeah, that was a blank slate, or what it was meaning was.
Tabula rasa.
Tabula rasa. Yeah. It's because there was already a game with that. And I believe NCSoft has the rights to it.
Yeah.
So we can have the same meaning, but we couldn't have the same name. Okay, let me just go out on a limb here and see if blank slate is available. Not that it sounds really good, but maybe it can lead to something else. So blankslate.com, of course, is available, or unavailable. Oh, damn it, I keep hitting the button here. And Blank Slate Online is not available either. So,
Just a question about Tabula Rasa. Do you really think they have a copyright on the name? Because I see if I search for Tabula Rasa on Google and copyright, I see several companies with that name.
It's not copyright; it's trademark that we need to worry about, and yes, because part of trademark can be by prior works, and so we all know that that's been out there, and they could plan to reuse it in the future, so they have full rights to it, even though they're not using it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the older forms of blank is spelled BLANC, and it's Old High German for white. There's also Blancus, which is the precursor to the French, which is also spelled the same way.
Oh, Blank Slate is for sale. Blankslate.com, 1,200.
Much more reasonable than the other one. Let's see, Slate.
Well, so blank, bare, barren, clean, empty, fresh, new, pale, plain, spotless, uncompleted, unfilled, unmarked, virgin. I skipped a few right to that one. Untouched, unused, vacant, vacus, virginal, void, and white, as you mentioned. And then, interesting. Slate is very little synonyms. Ballot, record, register, roster, schedule, and tablet.
And Slate was adapted from the Old French esclat, means piece broken off or splinter.
I like that, actually.
Derived from the verb esclater, which is to shatter.
How about say we take a name like a normal name like Shattered World, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see if there isn't any really nice words for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another word for shattered or for worlds is shard, and shattered crystal is an item that's in some games. Shattered world. I don't know.
What's a Latin word for shatter?
Doing that right now. Seeing if I have it here. Shank. Shanty. Scatter. See scatter.
Concutio. I got yeah, concutio.
Interesting.
I got your CONCUTIO. That's very hard to pronounce.
That one is shatteredworld.com is protein bars.
What?
Shattered
Can you
World,
say advertising fail?
Shattered World Online is available. That would equal SWO, Star Wars Online.
Oh, can't use that.
You know, shattered equals like broken or destruction or whatever. And is that part of the legend and lore of the game? Do we have strife that's happened that we have to overcome in the game?
It's more like the world was totally, you could say broken, right?
Mm-hmm.
After it, like, a little bit of lore we had there, basically just to do like a new start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe new beginning.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
If we were doing multiple servers, Shattered Realms.
We're gonna try not to have multiple servers, only one server.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think we can do that with our software.
Yeah. Well, I think that'd be the goal. That's gonna that's a huge bonus factor to have this. So.
Okay, new is from the Greek word neos, Neos, with the little umlaut mark above the word E, but you don't really need that for English. Neos.
Neos Online is for sale for $1,000. Neos can be spelled by a third grader.
This is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's short.
What about Neos World or
Neos World is taken. It's parked. It's a parked domain, so it may be for sale. Neos is not bad.
Does it mean anything else? Is it an acronym for anything?
Let me look that up.
There's another Latin word for newness, like new. They say it derives from new. It's called novitas.
How do you spell that?
Let me see. Novitas.
Yeah. Okay. So
Means newness, novelty.
That's interesting. That's almost exactly as what Brian suggested, except he started with the C.
How about Aetas Nova?
Nova being Nova meaning world or
no, a new time age, you can say. Something like that.
Okay, Age of Man. Well,
yep.
The etymological root of world is Age of Man.
Oh, that's interesting. Age of Man.
And we don't have to necessarily spell it world. We could use the Swedish, which is VERLD, or the Danish VERDEN. Or just where, WERE, which is one of its sources, probable sources. From Old Germanic is WERAZ, meaning man.
Oh, interesting. So I was just trying to combine a couple words here, and I was thinking about, what if we did this like Neos and fantasy, like new fantasy, and what are some other words for fantasy? One of them is air castle. It just sounds kind of weird, but I just thought that was interesting. Castle. Well, Neos Land, NEOSLAND.
What's that? Sorry,
Tempus.
NEOS?
NEOS, which stands for new, and then land, LAND, and the .com is available.
Well, firstly, so you know our company's name is NeoJack, right?
Well, this works.
So my my 10-year-old son's name is Neo, and my name is Jacques, so that's how we got to the company name.
Mm-hmm.
And how we got his name, it means, I know it means new, so it will be.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Neosland is available, and that's NEOSLAND.com. Let me see if I can find anything out there. If the .com is not available, I doubt that there's a definition for it. And that kind of, it stands for New Land, which is
It's available.com.
Which is exploration, adventuring, building community.
I just wonder what people will say of all the different Neos.
I don't think it matters. I actually don't think it matters. Now there is someone called Neosland on Facebook.
But does he have it copyrighted?
No, but there's please log in to continue. Oh darn it! I don't want to show everybody my login.
Novum Tempus.
Well, Facebook is it's not a big deal. So
Facebook is yesterday, anyways. The only reason people log on to Facebook is to play Battle Pirates. That's it.
I see.
It's the only reason I have a Facebook.
Okay, well, let's see here. So, Neosland is a person here. They have a dash in their name, and can't tell. It looks like they're German, but other than that, I can't tell. There's a community called Neo Geoland. Okay, so that's not the same. I don't know. What do you think about this, Jacques?
I do like the name. Otherwise, I wouldn't have named my boy that, right? So, or my company. So,
yeah. So, well, okay.
I'm the wrong person to ask this.
Okay, so beyond your partialness to it, does it make sense?
Well, if you just look at the name without thinking of all other stuff, right? Yeah, it's actually like New Land. That is definitely what the game is about, I would say, right? Because it's all new and like we're all explorers in it, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's very easy to spell, basically. NEOSLAND.
There's a Hong Kong company called Neosland. Let's see what they do.
Add an AM to the end of land, and it becomes the old Germanic, meaning particular enclosed area, ancestor of modern sense of nation.
NEOLA.
M as in Michael. That's the prehistoric Germanic version of land.
This Hong Kong company disbanded.
Oh.
It's no longer in existence.
I don't know. I like it personally.
I think it's a fine name, and I think it's easy to spell, and it's short. The .com is available. We don't have to add online to it or game or anything like that, and the only thing is we have to vet it and make sure that there's not it's not infringing on anyone. So there's also some popular characters that have been named Neo and everything too, which is a plus in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't see that as any problem.
Let's see here. Someone has a Flickr account with Neos Land. Oh, there's Neos Airlines. Neos Air.
Never heard of them.
Neither have
No.
I. They have some nice looking planes, though. Yeah. So, IL, Portugal.
Portuguese. Who counts them?
Oh, stop. You get a whole bunch of haters.
Well, I'm
Semantic.
supposed to be evil, you know. Those I gotta keep up my image, you know.
Okay.
Otherwise,
think
my minions
Neos,
will quit.
I think Neos is an Italian airline, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. It's neosair.il. So there's no conflict with that. Well, here's another one where you can buy high-quality Neos Land products. I don't know what that is.
Maybe that was that Hong Kong company. Then it's just a leftover page or something.
I don't know. There's a naked iguana here. Yeah.
Aren't all iguanas naked?
It's juxtaposed. So it's Land Neo. And it's, I don't know, some sort of candy. Okay, naked iguana candy. Okay, well, I don't know, Jacques, do you want to keep going? Or,
I don't know. I like that. It's up to. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you like it or?
I think
Neos
it's simple.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's meets all the requirements. It's oddball enough that nobody's going to be all like, "That was my idea." It kind of goes along with your existing trade name, as it were. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a demonstration product of what your engine can do. You know, meets all the requirements.
what's, it's, what is the acronym for this? Is it NL?
New Zealand.
No, NL. There's no Z in it.
Yeah, NL. Yeah.
Netherlands.
That's not
Netherlands. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It's NZL for New Zealand.
Yeah.
Let's see. NL game. I'm just looking to see if there's any games called NL. National League, which is that's not video games. Yeah, I don't see any games here.
Nope. Same here.
Now, if you were to do online or games behind Neoland or Neosland, that would change the acronym. Or are you just going to go straight Neo?
NLO.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I just think,
NLG.
shorter is maybe better, right? If you just keep it straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we could do is register the Neo's lands, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then register online
Mm-hmm.
as well. And we can give that as a community website as a prize to somebody at some point, right? Or you know, we have that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, for people to build up another community website or something like that.
I think that one thing that'll happen is that the community will give it its own acronym.
Yeah.
And so sometimes the acronyms given to the games are not what we expect. They're not necessarily. So they might do it NSL or something like that, and you know there'll be momentum there, and maybe that would be something that we would want to just run with if it was good. NL doesn't flow off of the tongue very well. NLO does, but the
NSL, I like that actually.
NSL, yeah. Yes, and then the National Soccer League will be after you. The Neo's Land, I think, sounds great.
Yeah.
I think it really does, and it's
it represents.
Short, it's sweet. The land part of it really speaks to me. Now, knowing what Neos means, that's fine and everything, but the land part speaks to me because that is one of the main things that people are going to do here. They're going to cultivate their land. They're going to build things. They're going to have farms. They're going to have workshops. They're going to have all kinds of stuff. And land also equals community. And so I think that it speaks, volumes about the game. And the term land is used in other things. Like the theme park for Legos is Legoland. And there's been other video games that have ended in land. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but
they're out there.
They're out there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think that at least my recommendation is I'd register that right now, Jacques.
Okay, so NEOSLAND, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I would have to concur on that. Of the ideas we've had, it's the least taken, and it goes along well with the theme of your company already.
And it doesn't seem to already mean anything out there.
Yeah.
And so we get to build what this means. The game will define what this means.
Yeah, exactly.
Be sure to register all the .nets and all that go along with it.
I'll do a .net and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Only one small hint: if you try to register later on somehow a German domain as well, you need a German subadmin or C-admin, because without a person based in Germany, you're not allowed to take a DE domain. Mm-hmm. That's only an information at the site. Mm-hmm. Even so, the same rule is attaching to the .eu.
So, Jacques, let's discuss that here, because everybody who, when they see this, is immediately going to go out and see what else is available for their fan site.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, how do you feel about other people registering, neosland.eu or .de or whatever? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, like for me, if it's fans, I don't see any problem with that, to be honest,
If it's competition, though, that it's a different story?
Yeah, if it's a different game,
Mm-hmm.
unless they used our software to make it, then it's fine. But,
well, then they're not competition now, are they?
They're customers.
They're customers. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, Brian, I guess if you want to run a fan site, the German fan site.
NEOS dash lens. Okay.
No, not dash. There's no dash in it.
Together, okay.
Yeah.
All together, okay. Give me a second.
Actually, you may want to look up the dash, Neoland's dash on the regular thing just to see if there's anything else.
Okay, let me look. It's not taken. So the dash is evil. Pardon my pun, Mr. Evil.
It's my job.
Dashes are evil in domains, and as far as SEO goes and search results, they have no meaning. They don't change the meaning at all. But as far as how people think, people don't think that when they're looking for the game Neosland that they're going to have to put in a dash anywhere.
Okay.
So
Neosland. Okay, let us check.
So, okay, so Jacques, get your stuff registered, and okay. Any final thoughts on this? Are we done? Have we done our job here?
I think so.
Okay, everybody. The game is called Neosland. Woohoo! Now we can all get up and do our little dance. You guys
You don't want
first.
me to dance. That would be bad. Trust me.
Yeah.
Okay, the Europe and DE domain is reserved and bought.
Okay. So, guys, I'll be right back. But for all of you watching on YouTube, thanks for watching this. Hopefully, this gives you some ideas and the insights of how we're doing this game, how it's community based. Evil and Brian are both players. They're not paid. They're people who intend to play. And Jacques, of course, owns CEO of NeoJack, and me. I'm just a big fan, doing videos and helping to coordinate everybody. So. Just another example of how it is that we have been taking this game, and it's being built by the people who want to play it, you. So join us at the next episode, and take care. Bye, everybody. Well, actually, hang on, but bye, everybody.